What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got news about, well, some very interesting stuff. We got some new promos coming around for the Ultimate Cup, which I cannot be the only one that thinks this is awesome, and we've got confirmation of the BT-11 pre-release, so I think we need to start there. Now, of course, we're used to having pre-releases. Pre-releases are the kind of things we're used to having. The difference, of course, is in what you get for playing, what you get for winning, and what is in the pack. Now, generally where we're going here, you're going to be a little bit familiar with this, all right? Because this is the way that pre-releases happen. So everybody that goes along to a pre-release will get a Dimensional Phase pre-release pack, which will have 2 cards in. And those 2 cards will have 2 random uncommon and rare cards from BT-11, stamped with pre-release. Now, sometimes the set comes around and I really properly care which cards I get, and then other times I don't. I mean, generally speaking, I'm looking for a Pulsemon. There's no Pulsemon here, so I'm kind of alright with it. But do remember, BT-11 is the set that has got a bunch of tamers on a bunch of artwork, and that is going to make a very, very big difference. So if we take Rena as an example, there's a whole Old Force Digimon line that's got Rena in. So Digimon's an uncommon. That's one you could get with a pre-release stamp, which is a pretty big deal. Vmon has an uncommon. So again, that's a pre-release stamp you could end up getting, which is a pretty big deal. And an Aero Digimon as well, I should mention. She's kind of hiding a little bit there, but it is a rare, and that one's going to come potentially with a stamp. Obviously not Old Force Digimon, that is a super rare. But there are going to be tamers like Rena. Remember, this is the first secret rare tamer card we've actually had. There are going to be tamers like that are very popular. That all of a sudden, there are multiple cards that could be printed with pre-release on, which is kind of a big deal. And I don't know for certain, obviously, but I do rather suspect that what we're going to see here is some of these cards, because of the tamers and all, are going to end up becoming very, very sought after. I could be wrong, but that's the kind of thing I'm going to be looking at. So just a little tip from your old pal Wassy here. If you pop along to a BT-11 pre-release, and you get one of these cards with the tamer on, with the pre-release stamp, do make sure you get a fair trade for it. Now, as well as that, everybody gets a participation prize, and there is a participation prize this time around. It's Vmon. And it's a pretty good Vmon, the one that when you play, you reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, grab a 2-color blue card, pop them in your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. It's a good Vmon. It's a very cool Vmon. It's a Vmon we've seen before. And I'm not just talking about the fact that it is a functional reprint, just a straight reprint of the one that came around previously. It is literally an old Vmon, the one from BT-8. But it's literally the Vmon from BT-8 with the border removed. Now, this came out in Japan a while ago. I showed you this as a Japanese card quite a while ago. Well, now we're getting it over here as a participation card, and this is a very cool card. Firstly, it's playable. Secondly, it just looks awesome. Although, of course, do bear in mind, because it is just the BT-8 one, but with the border taken off, you don't need this card. Now, it's a very cool card, and I'm sure many of you want, but you don't need this card. And please bear that in mind as I tell you that when we get to the winners promo for the BT-11 pre-release, we've got Starter Deck 1 Greymon. This is one of the reasons why the red starter deck ended up being so gosh darned expensive. Because this is a redonkulously good card. Once again, exactly like we see with the Vmon, what we've actually got here is the exact same card from Starter Deck 1. Exact same artwork. Everything exactly the same. The big difference here is they've taken the border off. And it's literally just that. They have removed the border. Everything else is the same. Really very simple. They've taken the border off. Everything else is exactly the same as you remember it. But this is the one that gives you security attack +1. It is a very, very, very good card. It's, like I say, it's a reason Starter Deck 1 sold out so quickly. Not the only reason, but one of them. And we've seen reprints since, but this is very cool. And again, this is one that, yeah, people are going to like. One thing I do find very interesting, on the website, they've listed 8 Vmon, 8 pre-release packs, and 8 winners card Greymon. But it's a winner's prize. There should only be one. I think that's a typo on the website, because it literally says winner prize, winner card Greymon times 8. Well, remember that pre-releases at stores are basically run as 8 people pods. Even when there's more than 8, they're essentially run for 8 people at a time. So each pack gets you 8 Vmon, 1 for everyone, 8 pre-release packs, 1 for everyone, and then 1 winner's card for the winner. So there should be 1 winner's card per 8 people. So I think that's a typo on the website as it stands at the moment. Just something to keep a little bit of an eye on. Now, one thing that is very, very cool, there's an Ultimate Cup, ladies and gentlemen. There's an Ultimate Cup coming. Ultimate Cup. And this is something worth getting very, very excited about. Now, some of them have been announced. You can go on to world.digimon.com/event/ultimate_cup_2023 or just go to world.digimoncard.com and find it on there. There are a bunch happening. There are some offline, there are some online, there are some to get very, very excited about. But the good news is we've gone and updated the promos. And this is awesome. So just for turning up, just for rocking along, you get yourself a Digimon. It's a participation card. We like Digimon. Digimon is honestly kind of adorable. So we like that there is a Digimon here for people that take part. It's the one from BT-12. On your turn, add 1,000 to the maximum your DP-based deletion effects can delete. And this might seem a little bit weird to you, because I just told you we're doing the pre-release for BT-11. Yeah, you're getting a BT-12 card nice and early. Enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy it. This is pretty cool. If you go beyond there and get yourself to top 128, you're getting yourself a Digimon. So it is very much, you've got to get going, all right? Turn up, Digimon, job's a good one, but then Digimon is when it starts getting a little bit serious. So Digimon here, we are talking about the one from, again, BT-12. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add all Takato Matsuki among them to your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And an inheritable skill on your turn. While this Digimon has Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name, it gains 2,000 power. Not too bad. Get yourself to top 64. You also get yourself a Growlmon. And this shouldn't shock you. It's also from BT-12. I should mention these are all stamped. You saw they're all stamped, right? When Digivolving, if you don't have Takato Matsuki in play, you can play one from your hand for free. And on your turn, while this Digimon has Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name, it gains 2,000 power. Get yourself up to top 32, and you get yourself a War Growlmon. Now, again, BT-12, you should be seeing this by now. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 power or less. If you don't delete any doing that, you can Digivolve into a level 6 with Gallantmon in its name in your hand for the Digivolution cost, reduced by 1. And an inheritable skill, end of attack once per turn. If your opponent has no Digimon in play and you got Growlmon and Gallantmon in your name, gain yourself 2 memory. And then this is where it gets really fun. Nothing for top 16, I'm afraid. Feel free to be upset about that, that's just the way it is. But get yourself to top 8 and you get the super rare Gallantmon. Obviously all alternate art. You've got Raid, that new keyword skill. When this Digimon attacks, you may switch the target of the attack to one of your opponent's suspended Digimon with the highest power. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 power or less. And when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 power or less. And if no Digimon was deleted by this effect, trash the top card of your opponent's security. I know, sounds good to me. Now, if you make top 2, you get yourself Imperial Digimon Paladin mode. Now, this is apparently the Ultimate Cup 2023 edition, because you'll notice this isn't new. We've seen this one before. And if we put them side by side, there is a difference between them. This one has a very obvious border, whereas the one from last year didn't. And this is quite important, because what you don't want is this card, which is, this real big reward for having done phenomenally in a huge tournament. You don't want it to be devalued by being printed over and over again. So even though the differences are quite subtle, they are there, and that is very, very important. So yay! Oh yeah, and then if you win the whole thing, you get the Crimsonmon Gallant mode. Or Gallantmon Crimson mode. You can tell by my voice I'm not doing great today. This is the one from EX2, so it is one we've seen before. When Digivolving, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest power. And when attacking, trash the top card of your opponent's security. Add 1 to the number of cards trashed by this effect for every 10 cards in your opponent's trash. If nothing else, it doesn't really matter how much you like this card. That's largely irrelevant. What is important here is that you've got just this card, which is going to be crazy, crazy rare. Outside of a couple of event packs for participating, the prizes are literally just the cards I've shown you. That's it. That's all you're playing for. But we know by now these cards are going to be ridiculously expensive. So, you know what? If what you're really trying to do here is get yourself some cash, if you're trying to actually make yourself some money playing this game, well, I've got wonderful news, ladies and gentlemen. You can just sell these cards. You're going to be okay. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know your opinions. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.